Hello and welcome back. This is part 2 in a 4-part computer science series. Today we are going to be looking at how to download Eclipse, which is the compiler that we will be using for the rest of the series. Now, this webpage is eclipse.org/downloads/. So, the one that we're going to be using for the purpose of these videos are the 5, the sixth link from the top, Eclipse IDE for Java and DSL developers. So you can either click Windows 32-bit or Windows 64-bit if you're in Windows, or if you have another operating system, you can download it for the OS X or Linux. After you've downloaded Eclipse and follow the instructions, you're going to be taken to a page that looks somewhat like this when you first run it. You might be given some sort of instructions, but you can just close that out for now. What we want to do is make our very first program. So we're going to go into New, Java Project, and as a tradition, we're going to do our first project as Hello World. So our project name will be Hello World. Finish. And from there we want to make a new Java class, which goes like this. New class. Don't change any of these options. They should be fine for what we're doing today. And in the name, we're going to be doing Hello World Project. All right. So what we have right now is public class Hello World Project. Now, these curly brackets I like to line up on the lines, but you can do however you want. We'll get into that later. But for now, you should notice this. Public class. Java is object-oriented, which means basically, let's go back into Paint here, if I can find it, which means basically that you will have objects interacting with one another. So you can think of objects for the purposes of this as, let's say we have a cash register that's going to be yellow for some reason. So this is a cash register. And you have a customer. And you have an attendant who will be denoted as an attendant by a fabulous top hat behind the cash register. Now, this program will take money from the customer here. It will take it, let the cash register look at it. If the cash register notices, let's say, that the money is of the wrong denomination, or it's like a $3,000 bill or something sketchy, he's going to hand it back or throw an error to the user. Now, these are all objects. Object 1, Object 2, Object 3. So, object-oriented programming essentially lets you decide how variables, in this case the money, are passed between classes. So let's say he accepts the money. I'll give a little check mark here. He's going to take it into the cash register. Cash register will calculate things out, and it will give money, or the change, I should say, back to the attendant, who will finally give the change and the item back to the first person, the customer. And then let's say our program would print out blah, 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 blah. You have $50 as change, and you have bought a avocado. There's your avocado. Okay, so now that we've kind of brushed up on how object-oriented programming works, let's go back into Eclipse, and let's move this so you can see what I'm doing here. This should work. So that's what a class is. Now, we want to use what's called a main method, and the main method, just copy what I'm typing on the screen if you're working along, otherwise you don't have to. A main method is what the program looks for to essentially run the first time. You can have other methods to help out the main method, for instance, like to handle math problems and such, but for now we're only going to use main methods because it's the easiest to approach if you're new. So we have public static void main, and then we have parentheses here, capital S for string, put a left square bracket and a right square bracket. Eclipse should do the right one for you. And then args, args. All right, let's see if it throws any errors. Nope, that means we most likely did it correctly. And like I said here, the curly brackets are up to you. The curly brackets kind of denote what belongs to what. So if we just throw some rubbish in there and throw some rubbish in here, basically these curly brackets say that anything inside of them belongs to the main method, anything outside of them belongs to this public class, okay? So you can either do it like I do it, or you can put one of the brackets up on this line. But I'm going to be doing it like this, since it's easier to see what's going on. So let's do a hello world program as our first program. So we want to do system.out.println left bracket, right bracket, parentheses, hello world, exclamation point, and make sure to use a semicolon at the end of the line. The semicolon basically tells Java or the compiler that this is the end of the line that you're going to be coding on. So everything looks up to shape. Let's press run. And as you can see, Java interpreted our code and printed out to the console here at the bottom, hello world. So let's trace what we did in our previous little thing here. Let me clear this quickly. So let's go over what we just did. We had no input in this program, but we used the computer to compile, and then we had output. So let's scroll down here and see what we did. We took, in our compiler, the method, or the instruction I should say, to print out hello world. So that was denoted by these curly brackets, system.out.print at the beginning, these curly brackets, these quotations here, which I'll explain those in a minute, and we have hello, blah, 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 world, blah, 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 in here, followed by a semicolon. So these brackets tell Java that this hello world is not a variable of some sort, and a variable means kind of what you think it would. It's pretty self-explanatory, but I'll explain it later anyway, just for you, in the next video probably. And it takes that hello world, compiles it, sends it out into the computer, and the computer prints out to the console the output. So in this example, we are using a monitor, which you can currently see there. Oops, messed up that line there. And, excuse me, it prints it out to this computer. It prints out hello world to your monitor and finishes the program. It's done. So in the next video, I believe I'm running out of time here, so we're going to show you how to work with variables and how to change up your hello world program a bit. I will see you next time. Thanks for sticking with me.